Hello, wildlings. I'm your Creepsmith, and you found my Fear Forge. Lucky you. Mudhouse Mansion is a house located outside Lancaster, Ohio. Some claim that it is haunted. According to locals in Lancaster, the house was built in the early 1800s by a government official who lived there after the Civil War. Now, the man kept slaves in the mansion, even though it was illegal. It seems the man didn't abide by many laws and kept his slaves locked in an outbuilding at night. He treated these slaves very poorly. The conditions were so bad that one enterprising individual started digging a tunnel underneath the wall of the outbuilding. He dug a little every night, after the lights in the mansion had gone out and the owner and their family had gone to sleep. Eventually, the tunnel was completed, and he squeezed himself down the small opening and came up on the other side of the wall. In the dead of night, he crept toward the mansion, slipped the lock on the back door, tiptoed up the staircase, and vengefully killed everyone inside. In the morning, locals discovered what had happened, but all the slaves had escaped and no one was ever charged with the crime. The house lay vacant for years afterwards. Neighbors heard strange groans and shrieks coming from the empty mansion. Everyone believed that it was haunted by the ghost of that slave owner and their family. Nobody ever dared to enter the menacing-looking building. Then, according to local legend, a man actually did buy the house in 1892 and moved in with his wife and their 3 children. Neighbors saw the family moving in, unloading their belongings, and carrying them into the house. And then, nothing. No one ever saw them again. The family never left the house. Neighbors thought it was very odd for an entire family of 5 to all spend all of their time indoors. When one neighbor looked out her bedroom window, she could make out the figure of a woman, dressed all in white, standing at the 2nd floor window. The figure wasn't doing anything, just standing there, just staring at her. When the neighbor looked again, the following day, she saw the same figure again, in the same position. And every day, whenever the neighbor looked at Mudhouse Mansion, the figure was always there, standing in exactly the same position, giving her exactly the same unblinking stare. On the 10th day, she called the police and asked them to investigate. When the policemen broke into the mansion and climbed the stairs to the 2nd floor, they were greeted by a terrible sight. All 5 family members were hanging lifelessly from the ceiling by nooses. They were all dressed in the same white bedclothes, and it appeared that they had taken their own lives. The figure that the neighbor had seen was the mother of the family. She hadn't been standing at the window, she'd been hanging in there for the whole 10 days. After that, no one would live in the house. It's remained vacant to this day. People still come to visit the old mansion, but the current owner will not allow anyone to enter the property. She's afraid that if anyone goes in, they'll never come out alive. Some local children call it Mary's house and tell each other that the famous Bloody Mary of legend grew up there. People who live in the area say that on cold, dark nights you can sometimes see the figure of a woman, all in white, standing motionless at the 2nd floor window. Thanks for listening, my wildlings. Stay scary and make the most of your nights.